I had three things I was thinking about all weekend. Three things got stuck in my craw. And I puzzled over them. And the first one requires me to contact the world's greatest lake detective. He has his own song and everything because no other podcast in the world has a lake detective. Steve McComas from Blue Water Science is joining us. And only you can help me with this problem.
Wow.
Holy cow.
You've never been stumped. Where are
No
you currently,
pressure.
sir? Are you on a case?
I'm on the shoreline of Olive Magnet Lake in Burnsville in Apple Valley. It's a nice day, light breeze. Conditions are good.
And you've checked in with local authorities?
I just did. I've gotten the clear. I got the all clear, and so we are on the case.
Lake detective, something I've wondered about all weekend, and only you can answer the question. You ready?
I'm ready. No pressure, but I'm ready.
Well, we'll pick a lake, any lake. I'll pick White Bear, just arbitrarily, because I'm so familiar with it. Is the water in White Bear Lake, with the exception of some evaporation and rainfall, is the water in White Bear Lake the same water that was in White Bear Lake, I don't know, I'll just pick a number, 100 years ago?
Likely not. There's some remnant. That lake will flush about every. White Bear Lake is pretty slow flushing. It will flush out about every 10 to 12 years.
Is that
We
true
get
of all
new
lakes?
water.
Is that true of all lakes?
Yes, it is. But all these lakes are going to be they'll have what they call turnover or a flushing rate, and it's based on we have some water coming in. When some water comes in, Joe,
Yep.
there's some water going out.
I see.
So there's a little bit residue and some remnants, maybe from a long time ago, a little bit here and there, but for the most part, they flush. A White Bear, which is mostly groundwater fed, has a little bit longer retention time, but compared to like a bald eagle, which has a stream coming in and will flush that lake a little bit faster.
I
So
see.
which is healthier? Which is a healthier environment, quick or slow?
That's a great question. Depends on the water coming in. If you have good water coming in, then it's okay to have a quick flushing rate. If you have bad water going in, a lot of nutrients and a lot of fertilizers,
Right.
then you prefer not to have quite as much coming in, and then you have rainwater diluting that, and then the rain will help keep the water clear. We get about a foot or two of rain a year, so automatically, if a lake's 10 feet deep, just on rainwater itself would probably flush that lake in 5 to 6 years.
Okay. But deep within the depths of a lake, White Bear, Minnetonka, Gull Lake, whatever, there might be some water that was been around for a while.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
There's always some remnant left, but the bulk of it is, because White Bear, all lakes will turn over. So in fall, that bottom water gets mixed up to the top.
Uh-huh.
So even the bottom water gets mixed up, and some of that will leave as well.
Oh,
We have water
okay.
coming in,
See?
we have water going out.
Might I ask, what type of raging party were you at, Joe, where the topic of conversation was, boy, I bet White Bear's water's been there for
No,
100 years.
I thought of this on my own.
Oh,
No,
I
just,
see.
it's a great question.
Thank you, Kenny.
If you're smart, if you're dumb, you ask questions like Reavers just did. Another question about swampland and marshes around lakes. Do they
Yeah.
help keep the lakes pure and clean, especially in farm country?
Yes, they do. A wetland can filter out a lot of particles, and can also, because there's so much vegetation, it will take up the nutrients, so it acts as kind of a biological filter before the water goes in. However, there's always a caveat. If we have dry conditions and there's not much water going out of the wetland, then that water sits there, and then when we get a wet year, that wetland kind of flushes, and so then we do bring in some nutrients. So a wet year is good. A dry year and then a wet year, not as good. Wetlands can be a source of nutrients in some cases.
Fascinating.
LD, how's your summer going? Are you busy?
Oh man, we're having tons of fun. June is a busy month, but man, what a great month for the lakes. They're clear right now. They're as good as they're going to be. You got loons up there. You got baby loons, baby ducks, baby geese. Everything is coming alive.
Oh,
So
boy.
It's a lot of fun to be on the lake. The eagles are hovering. They're always looking for a meal.
Yep.
And we're tracking everything.
Well, you're the greatest, and we continue to claim that you're American podcast only lake detective. We used to be AM radio's only lake detective, but you've switched with us, and now you're podcast only lake detective.
I made that leap, and I'm glad. It's all worked out. It's always fun. That's for sure.
Thank you, sir. You've settled me down. I have question number 1 of my 3 questions answered. Thank you.
One little side note.
Yes.
Even Lake Superior flushes, just that it takes 100 years.
Wow. Really? Now, well, okay. Let's step it up a notch. Do the oceans flush?
No, they
Oh.
don't. They don't. When we get down to sea level, there's no place for the water to really flow. Not much flowing out of the oceans. Everything flows into the oceans. There we just are dependent on rain and evaporation.
All right.
Into the atmosphere.
That's right. And then so it recycles. I suppose an ocean would turn over maybe every 10,000, 20,000 years.
I will accept that answer because he's never been stumped.
I can't argue with it.
Sounds right to me.
Sounds good to me. Thanks, LD.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure.
All
Thanks
right,
again.
Blue Water Science, Steve McColeman. Hey, my mind's at ease. There's still some water down there that's been there for a while.
Answer Reaver's question, though. How did this come about
Yeah,
in
I'm just
the
curious.
old brain? Because I think it's a great question. I'm just wondering why.
I don't know. It might have had its origins when I heard about a guy having to drain his swimming pool down to a certain level and refill it because the water was no longer accepting of the chemicals pools require to maintain a healthy swimming environment.
There was a few Baby Ruth bars in there, too.
Yeah,
Wasn't there?
so the water apparently wears out
Yeah.
in pools, and that got me thinking,
Duty!
yeah.